About a month or so ago, there was a big debate among West Ham fans, results versus style, because we had won some games against the likes of Burnley and Olympiacos where perhaps we felt a little bit fortunate we didn't deserve to win. Maybe it was a bit boring, not very entertaining. But later on, I was watching some other Premier League teams. I can't recall exactly who it was. It might have involved Nottingham Forest. I remember thinking, this game is boring. Both of these teams are boring. Later on, I watched Man United play someone. I remember thinking, Man U fans can't be happy with this. This is boring. But it got me thinking, how many Premier League fan bases are actually happy with how their team performs? Not results, but in terms of style. Are they entertained? So, I decided to ask someone. I decided to ask one fan per Premier League club, are you happy with how your team plays? Important disclaimer, I don't have one fan per club. I asked one fan per club. They didn't all reply and get back to me. And they've done it over such a large period of time that some of them's a little bit out of date. But bear with me. Logistically, it was a difficult video to make. However, I had an idea. I ran with it. This is the end result. I hope you enjoy it. I'll catch up with you at the end.
West Ham fans, Merry Christmas. I come in peace. I come in peace because if we are talking team styles and team tactics, then you probably don't want to hear off me because Aston Villa at this moment in time are insanely good. Insanely good. Unai Emery has spoilt us rotten for the last 12 months. For me, as a fan, I view football differently. I digest games differently. Unai has just given us an education in the game. His level of detail, game by game, opponent by opponent, is extreme. Like back in October, we beat Chelsea 1-0 at Stamford Bridge. Like, I know everyone's doing that, but like, straight after the game, on the coach, laptop open, Unai Emery debriefing the game, and he's obsessed. And that obsession translates onto the pitch because each game, there's a plan, there's a tactic, there's a style. And for our style, you can't really categorise us because there's so many variations to our play. Yes, we like to build up from the back. We like to control and dominate the game, work some openings. But we are also happy to sit back and go direct and go straight over the top. We mix it up to get the win. And that's what Unai is about. He's about getting the wins every time. And if the players can go out and implement Emery's plan and his tactics, then 9 times out of 10, we win that game. So for me, as a Villa fan at this moment in time, playing style, everything is just insanely good.
Hello, it is Beth from the United Stand, and you're asking me if I'm happy with Manchester United's style of play. Is the sky blue? No, I'm not happy with Manchester United's style of play. We are getting bantered left, right and centre. It is horrendous. We are in a proper rough patch at the minute. Okay, we've had a few good results. The Chelsea game was good, and that was probably the only game this season, one of the only games this season, where I've really seen what Erik ten Hag wants to do with this team. We were playing flowing, attacking football, but we still got caught on the counter-attack numerous times. Whatever Manchester United and Erik ten Hag's style of play is, it changes from game to game, and Manchester United fans don't even know themselves. You can see a glimmer of it here and there, and you can kind of see what Erik ten Hag wants to do in certain games. But on the defensive transition, we get slaughtered every time, especially if it's a team that's half decent. I mean, in November, we got 3 wins and 3 clean sheets, and Ten Hag got Manager of the Month. But even in them games, I thought it was so boring. It was like watching paint dry. And then the games where it's a bit more exciting, we always lose. So it's so disappointing at the moment. We just can't seem to get it right. We can't seem to be able to win games and also play well at the same time. So performances and results, they're both important. We're in a results-based business, but Manchester United are getting neither. And a lot of people are saying you just can't see the end game. You can't see where this team's going, and that's the issue that a lot of Man United fans have. I do still have faith in Erik ten Hag. I think sacking another manager would be the wrong thing to do at this moment in time, but the way we play, for me, isn't how I want to see Man United go and play. When you go to Old Trafford, you want to be excited, you want to be off your seat. We don't get that often this season, but hopefully it'll come back. But yeah, they're my thoughts on Man United's style of play.
Hi Lee Judges, I'm here to talk about Arsenal's style of play and whether I'm happy with it. And to be honest, I am. I think last season we played a lot better and it was more enjoyable, but I still like the way we play, where we've got exciting players down the flanks and obviously with Jesus down the middle. We play a different sort of style to a lot of other teams, but we're very, very powerful going forward and defensively look very, very sound. It's also entertaining. Sometimes it's edge of your seat stuff. Other times it's not. We control games. I like the way we control games. It's not as entertaining as last season, but all in all, listen, you can't be too unhappy with the Arsenal style of play at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think the general consensus amongst Brighton fans is that we are very happy with how we play football. When De Zerbi came in, it was very much a Graham Potter-esque style of football, but as Brighton fans described it, Graham Potter-esque style of football on speed, which is quite funny. But yeah, I think what Brighton fans would like is that we tighten up a little bit defensively. But the De Zerbi style is you score more goals than the other team, you will win the game, and that's created some real classic moments, some real classic games, some very stressful moments. But yeah, overall, very happy.
Hi, it's Mike here, Everton fan. Am I happy with our style of play? Yes, I am. I think over the last few years, Everton have lost their identity. Ironically, since David Moyes left, and we've brought in Sean Dyche, and he's finally restored some sort of pride back into the way the team plays, working hard. We can actually see what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to do. Is it the prettiest football on the eye? Probably not. But to be fair, under Lampard, under Carlo Ancelotti, the football was not much better in it either. And at the moment, obviously with the points deduction and everything, and all the noise going on around the club, we're just happy to get back to winning ways and to start putting points on the board. So I think we're in a little bit of a different position. We're looking to stabilise and to start picking up points. And this performance and style of play that we've got, we turn up, we know what we're going to get. We've got hard work, we've got honesty, we're getting the ball forward fast. And to be fair, at Goodison and Everton fans in general, can't speak for everyone, but in general, that's what we like. It's getting forward fast. It's 100% effort, and that's what we're getting at the moment. Do we hope to progress and improve that as we as we move forward? Of course we do, and I think most football teams do. However, at the moment, the prime objective is to get points on the board. So overall, I can't speak for every Everton fan, but I would suggest most of us are happy with the way things are going.
Hello Hammers Chat, this is Kirk from Cherries Red Army. Thank you for the invite onto your channel, and you want to know how I feel as a Bournemouth fan watching the Cherries under Andoni Iraola. Absolutely loving it. It's fantastic. For the first time since Eddie Howe left, I am excited to go home and away. We have a style, an identity, a philosophy, a culture shift, and it's just a really good time to be a Bournemouth fan. We're the best team in the league in the mini form guide. We have most shots on target most weeks recently, and we really attack football teams. We arrive in more attacking areas than we used to. We load the box, we're fluid, we press. It took a while to get going this season, but it always was going to be the case. Previously under Gary O'Neill and Scott Parker, it was pragmatic football, it was negative. You would always nullify the opposition before trying to take your chances. And we had to always consistently have a high conversion rate because we weren't that expressive or progressive. So it's very, very good at the moment. The club have absolutely got this nailed on. Andoni Iraola come to England with a good profile from Rayo Vallecano. He's delivering right now. He's only got one of his own staff from Spain. So he's making all these changes and making this squad better pretty much with everything we had last year, bar a few signings in the summer, and the staff that Gary O'Neill had. So he's doing amazing stuff. What an absolute guy. He's only on a 2-year contract, so we need to sort that out because he's going down the road of the likes of Roberto De Zerbi, and we don't want to lose him after 2 seasons. So very much want to keep Andoni Iraola. Very much enjoying the football at Bournemouth. We're not going to get relegated. We should finish comfortably somewhere near 12th, 13th, and that would be a successful season for us.
Hello West Ham fans, I have been asked by Gio Mackie to fill you in on whether or not I, as a Crystal Palace fan, am happy with the way that we are playing football this season under the guidance of Roy Hodgson. To be honest with you, it's a very, very difficult question to answer in 10 minutes, let alone a minute and a half, but I will endeavour to do that for you now. Crystal Palace are unless you've been living under a rock, in a state of limbo. We have Roy Hodgson back at the football club until at least the summer, unless of course our form dramatically continues to disintegrate and we end up in a bona fide relegation battle in the new year. But we are the definition of treading water as of right now, and that has led to all sorts of frustrations, not just from me, but from pretty much every Crystal Palace fan over the last few months. We have a cavalcade of quality players. Depending on your own personal allegiances, you may not view it that way, but for us, Abire Eze, Chet Decore, Michael Elise, Odson Edouard, Anderson, Gay, you name it. We have a squad that should be capable of pushing for the top 10. I say a squad, it's more of a starting 11, because the main issue for us is the lack of depth, the lack of options off the bench, and indeed a lack of quality when we do need to rotate or replace those injured players. And with that in mind, our play style has been dramatically affected all the way through the season, really. Aside from Mark Gay and Joachim Andersen, who, touch wood, remain ever present pretty much. We have had injuries to Abiri Eze, to Michael Elise. We go into this game this weekend. Obviously, I don't know when this video is going out, but I am recording it on the Friday prior to us going to Manchester City, without the likes of Abiri Eze, Chet Decore, possibly Jefferson Lerma, definitely not Jordan Ayew, definitely not Odson Edouard. We don't have Sam Johnston in goal, we don't have Dean Henderson in goal, and that in itself has obviously impacted massively on our ability to field a cohesive team. But overall, I am not particularly happy with the style of play, because Crystal Palace, for me, should represent a side that, go at a side, push everything they can, leave it all out on the pitch, play with pace, play on a counter-attack, and we have not been doing that. You can argue that it's football by numbers under Roy Hodgson and that works in terms of keeping us afloat in the Premier League every year, but I think, from my conversations with Gio, West Ham fans aren't particularly enamoured with the way that David Moyes goes about things, because regardless of your European successes, you want a bit of enjoyment, you want something to get you off your seat and really get the juices flowing, and unfortunately for Crystal Palace this season, we have not had that. Hopefully that sums it up. Cheers.
My name is Mr. Dor with Dor on Tour, Nottingham Forest fan. I'm talking about am I happy with the way Forest are playing, the formation wise. We're going to deal with what we are, because, like I said, we missed Tower 1-8 and we've got to play differently with the defeats that we've had as well, 4 defeats in a row. We have to go back to back 5, call it low block football, I hate that word. But am I happy with it? If that formation helps us get results, then I'm not going to complain about it. And in the past, it's worked for Steve Cooper. Sometimes, like I said, last season it was a 1 win all season, and so far one win away as well. That was against Chelsea, and it worked. So me personally, I will stick with the 3-5-2 formation. But Tower 1 is definitely a miss for Nottingham Forest. Thank you for having me on. Like I said, make sure everyone subscribe to Door on Tour.
Hi, I'm Hal from the Sheffield United Way. Am I happy with how Sheffield United play? Do we have a style of play? It might be all about to change with Paul Heckingbottom leaving. There isn't really a defined style. You could ask any Sheffield United fan and they'll tell you this season we haven't got a clue. We don't seem to have a particular way of playing, whereas before it was pretty obvious. It was that 3-5-2, overlapping centre-backs, which we definitely created, and getting players in the box, but not ever using wingers. We still try to do that, but it doesn't really happen. And so I would say it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what our style is. This is the first season where I've not really been able to identify what it is, and I can with a lot of other clubs. So far, and I'm recording this before Sheffield United play Liverpool, I'm definitely not happy with the way Sheffield United have been playing, and the style of play is almost impossible to read.
To answer the question, pretty happy with how Brentford play. Obviously, Thomas Frank adapts to which club we're playing. Obviously, the change of formations, which I think a lot of people are used to now. But overall, being one of the smaller clubs in the Premier League, we have to adapt against some of the large clubs, with the amount of money that goes around. Really happy with, the possession we do get against sort of the smaller clubs, and quite attacking football against the smaller clubs. And obviously sitting back in on the counter against some of the large clubs, which can be a little bit frustrating for other teams. I know there's a lot of people that really dislike how we play. But overall, can't complain too much, especially with the squad depth and the amount of money that we spend year on year compared to 90-95% of clubs in the Premier League.
So there you go, a mixed bag. Some are happy, some are unhappy, and some just haven't a clue what's going on at the club anymore. And there's been a couple of managerial changes, but that's my fault. They sent them in middle of December. It's taken me this long to put it all together, and I was trying to get all 19 clubs bar West Ham, but I failed. I will do better next time. But massive thank you to those who did send in the clips for taking the time out around Christmas as well. So it's a busy time for everybody, so massively appreciate it. Something a little bit different. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. But if you have, let me know in the subscribers comments, because I might use this concept a little bit more often during the season. I'll just be better organised. If you've enjoyed the video though, please do drop a like on it by clicking thumbs up. Subscribe to Hammer Chat. I, not them, I will catch you in a bit.